Good afternoon, guys. It's December 6th. Today is Monday, and let's go with the pre-market notes, right? So today was a odd day. I didn't see anything. Means not even though price was moving higher, but it was. I feel like it was a random moving up. Like fear of missing out kind of buyers randomly buying it. So day was good, right? It was moving higher, but there is nothing I was able to extract out of it in terms of a direction, because it's not about only day trading, right? Not about today, but since that yesterday's or Friday's down move, right? Some of the structure was spoiled, in the larger time frame, right? And sellers were controlling, and we already know that there is always no follow through, right? Whenever down day happens, next day there is no follow through, correct? So we had that idea that follow through may not happen, right? But then in that case buying should happen, but buying should have happened from right levels. The way morning price action acted, something was off. The way it went down, the way it went higher entire day, so I'm still not convinced about the buyers. So for me it seems like a panic buying or fear of missing out kind of buying. Today I wouldn't say it was a legit buy, even though BTFD can happen, we know that, but I think price may come back down one more time, and then we will see. But let's say if price does not come back down tomorrow, and gap up, and let's say it goes higher, and take out let's say 46.20 in ES, then I would assume yes, it was a legit buying, but still it was it will, or I would say still it left the trail to come back down, but about this area I would assume then yes, it's a legit buying, and buyers back into the business. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that what I was thinking, or while it was happening, what I was thinking at the time. So today is all about follow through to the downside, if any. That is the expectation. So that's why I will use word if any, right? Because so far anytime down day happens, there is no follow through next day. So far in the last couple of years, see, same thing. So I'm not gonna repeat all these things, I already covered these things. So yes, aggressive sellers should hold below 53.57, and conservative sellers should hold below 83.77. If price goes above both of these things, we have to assume BTFD, right, may happen. And if price goes above 46.20, then final line in sellers, final send for sellers, and then buyers will be more active, right? 45.29.31 is also an important support, So pretty much price went above both this area. So from that point onwards, day trading wise, yes, we should focus on longs, right? But the way it was going higher, something was off anyway. But yes, we can play the long above this area, and below this area we should avoid short, because the way it bounced, right? So I will explain. NQ is the only one which tries to stay below Friday's close, so Friday's close 700 area, 710 is important. As long as NQ is below 15,900, aggressive sellers could be active at any point, right? And that is what happened today. 15,900, it went all the way up to 900, and then it just stopped there. It didn't move higher, right? So now this area is important there, right? So we'll see whether price gaps up above this area and go higher tomorrow, or it just goes down in the overnight. We'll see. Russell 21.22, so pretty much it went up to 20 and then it got rejected, right? So this is the area now. You have to watch this and this, below both, you still Russell has a sellers in it. Dow is the only one which is strongest one among all of them, so if Dow tanks tomorrow, then other may tank too, together. But if Dow continues to go higher, all of them will move forward also, So watch Dow also tomorrow. Crude is above 67. See, I wrote all this story here for the crude, right? 69 to 64 is a range bound, right? But within that range, I have clearly said here that below this range is more sellers will become active, right? But within that range, assume buyers intraday above 67. So within that range, you can ping pong, but above 67 favor buyers, below 67 favor sellers. So above 67, price crude pretty much stayed above after the open, right? So favor buyers, right? And now at the closing, it actually went above this area. So now crude has a buyers in it as long as it stays above this area. Simple, So tomorrow you can trade crude to the long side, for day trading as long as it is above this area. So it got stuck here, it stopped here today. So we'll see whether it can go up to this area tomorrow and get rejection, come back down below this, or holds this area, take out this, something like that. Gold, no trading. Okay. So here, this is what I mean. The way it just touched right of the open, right, Globex high, and then just tank, right? So this was not the area to short right of the open. Why? Because of this. See, internals were too bullish right of the open, Yes, it was gap up, so obviously AD would be positive, right? So that is always a concern, because since if it is a follow through, right, we are looking for follow through, correct? Then price should have at least open here, or maybe here somewhere, and then try to go higher, and then internal could be tanking, something like that. Then you can short at Globex high, right? But it gapped up above entire this balance. See, the previous days, Fridays. That means something is off, So you don't want to short it right at Globex high, which is a known area, right? Ideally, the short would be 77 or 83, depending on how price comes there. So basically, let's say if it opens up here, go straight to 83, or 87, 77, right? Something like that. And then internals are chopping around, you can short, But in this case, price just got rejection from here. See, that was the off thing. And the way it went down, it looks like, okay, it wants to tank, right? Both NQ and ES. But now you can't short in the middle while it was moving. You have to wait for a pullback, right? Then the obvious area for this price to stop right here, somewhere around in this closing area. Fill the gap, with bullish disconnect or something, right? Then you may try even long there, exhaustion. But price didn't even come there, see, and then BTFD happened right here. So that was off thing, right? This was off, this was also off thing, right? And the way it went higher, look at the statement in NQ. See, now you have to combine all you have to remember all these things. See, this was my thought at that time when I was writing this thing, that this may happen. See, if Globex low is broken down in the RTS session, then you want price to stay below, and you do not want to see rejection or failed breakdown and price going straight up. See, now, so this was a Globex low, correct? Now you look, straight broken down, and immediately straight up. See, the scenario was I was thinking. So this was also now suggesting, some BTFD happened here ahead of it, and now this could be a failed breakdown scenario. That means it can go higher all the way up to Globex high even. That means I'm not gonna short NQ anymore at that point, right? Even though I was looking for a short earlier, let's say from here, but now due to NQ I can't short, okay? And due to this I can't short even either, and due to this, internals were almost 1500, 1300, so I can't even short here now. Look at momentum, consistently 600, right? So we have to forget the short idea, at least while this thing is going on, So now if you forget the short idea at that point, can we go long? Sure, we can go long, but now the question is, we have to rely on NQ and other market to line up, because our initial thought was to stick with sellers below this area, right? But now this thing changed everything in real time. So at least when price went above these things, we have to make sure it holds above this area. VWAP and mid, people love to trade around it, right? So, and it was our bold support also, right? So price went above it, here went through it, now went above it, correct? So now here it should hold, and it was a VWAP also, 24-hour VWAP, RTH VWAP, made, you know. So now you want it to stay above it, you know. So when this thing happened first time here, NQ was way up, getting rejection from VWAP, so no longs. But when second time it came, NQ came down to retest the Globex low. So here you can take a chance, you know, both in NQ and here. That's why it's a different arrow, because of internals were higher, momentum was holding above zero line, so you can make a case and go long here. But still it's not an ideal setup, you know. It's just we are trying to figure out the setup, you know, here. But you can make a case here, you know? And then when price bumped higher, now it's a step up move beginning, you know, because price fought it here and then breakout, right? So now you can say, you know what, now intraday buyers are in control. From this point onwards, the moment NQ bounced from it, now both are confirming. So now no more shorts, you can only stick with longs, right? But only with the particular area. So now since it's broke out about this balance, it needs to hold on the way down, right? So that's why when it came down here, so 87 was a bold area, right? A bold resistance. So yes, it responded, but we should not think that it's gonna tank, because look at momentum and internals here, completely bullish, right? So it's a pullback. So when it comes down to this top of this first hour high, right here, not first hour high actually, the previous balance, right? You can consider going long here, but again, this is not ideal setup. Why? Because NQ was already below VWAP and 702 area. See, 702, 710 was highlighted here. See that important area. So if price went higher above, I want it to stay above this area, right? Completely 702. But here, look at this. It even went through the VWAP, right? And it was trying to hold here. So it's a gray area. So, but based on, if you ignore these things for a while, because NQ being NQ, it just goes a little bit more, right? Then support and then bounce back up. So you can make a case here, you know, based on this. But in this case, because of NQ, you have to bail out right here, you know. And sorry, I got a phone call in between. But so here you have to bail out, you know, just to be on the safer side, because something is off here. Definitely here it was off, here it was off, here it was off, you know. NQ was ping ponging, you know, random buying. This is a random buying, you know. So you bail out here, you know. That's a better way to manage the trade. And then it's a good thing we bail out. Look, see, then it again came down here, right? So this was not a buying thing. This is also not a buying thing. It could have easily gone down, but because of this momentum, it held it, you know. Then it balanced, right? Then it broke out the morning high, right? While NQ also break out, you know, about this dream number. See, 780 was a dream number. So does see 729 was a dream number also. So 729 acted off the open to the downside, right? Price went through it, and then 780 or dream number also acted, right? And then now it went through it, both the dream numbers also, right? So, and it got a reject, it held a VWAP here, right? So now NQ is about this morning high, both this morning high, and now it is pulling back to 768, 780, right? That was our support in the pre-market note, 768 to 750. Look at this, it just came down to support, right? And at the same time, this guy also came down to this support, morning first hour high, right? So here now you can buy it right here, you know, around whatever, between 12:30 to 1, I guess, right? So which was this area right here, you know, because price fought it here and then breakout, right, with this bullish internal. So this was a valid trade for the day, you know. All these trades were garbage because we were not sure, sellers were still controlling. But now price is above 83 and 77, both areas. It fought around it and then broke out. Now it's pulling back, both NQ. See, NQ was in the gray area in the morning. Now NQ is in a clear up territory after breaking above all of this. See, Now this was a valid long. Here you can take it, so I'm comfortable taking this, then this and this, right? And then you target yesterday's high, pretty much Friday's high, 4606. You bail out here and call it a day. Or you can wait for NQ to get to 900 and then you can bail out both together. But NQ did not get quite to 900, right? But when it was close enough and ES came to Friday's high, you bail out here. That was a valid trade. After that, there is no trading, So now what? So now the question is what price wants to do, right? The way I can think is I will consider fear of missing out buying today. We will wait for tomorrow's open and overnight to confirm whether it was a legit buying or panic buying. If it is a panic buying, then price will fall below 80 in the overnight and maybe stay below 80. And NQ will fall below 730 and maybe stay below 730, So we'll see. If that is the case, then it's a panic buying and price wants to go down further. If price stays above it, and then try to take out these highs, then yes, could be a legit bias, So we'll go from there for tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.